The year 1914 marked a pivotal moment in European history, leading to the outbreak of World War I. This conflict dramatically reshaped the geopolitical landscape across the continent. Major European powers consolidated into two primary opposing alliances. These alliances were known as the Allied Powers and the Central Powers. The formation of these blocs established a complex and volatile international system. Prior to its involvement in the conflict, Bulgaria adopted a position of neutrality. The nation carefully observed the escalating tensions and the unfolding global conflict. Bulgaria's leadership meticulously assessed its strategic interests during this period. This neutral stance allowed for careful consideration before committing to any side. The two Balkan Wars, occurring between 1912 and 1913, profoundly reshaped the political landscape of the region. These conflicts led to significant territorial changes among the Balkan states. Bulgaria emerged from the wars with substantial territorial grievances. Serbia, in particular, had expanded its territory at Bulgaria's expense. This created a climate of regional instability and resentment, especially for Bulgaria. Bulgaria's primary motivation for entering World War I stemmed from territorial ambitions. A key objective was the reclamation of territories lost during the Balkan Wars. Specifically, Bulgaria sought to regain control over Macedonia. Bulgaria believed Macedonia rightfully belonged to its national domain. This desire for territorial restoration significantly influenced its decision to join the war. The Central Powers, primarily Germany and Austria-Hungary, sought to expand their alliance during the war. They identified Bulgaria as a key strategic partner due to its geographical location. Bulgaria's entry into the war could open a new front against the Allied powers. To secure this alliance, the Central Powers offered Bulgaria territorial concessions. This offer aimed to strategically align Bulgaria with the Central Powers' war efforts. In 1915, Bulgaria engaged in intensive negotiations with the Central Powers. These discussions were critical in determining Bulgaria's alignment during World War I. The Central Powers offered significant territorial gains to Bulgaria. A key incentive was the promise of land acquisition, particularly from Serbia. These territorial promises played a crucial role in influencing Bulgaria's decision-making process. Ultimately, these negotiations swayed Bulgaria towards joining the Central Powers. In September 1915, a pivotal secret treaty of alliance was formally signed. This agreement marked Bulgaria's alignment with the Central Powers during World War I. The treaty established the framework for military cooperation between the signatories. It also stipulated the territorial rewards Bulgaria would receive upon victory. This alliance significantly impacted the balance of power in the Balkan front. In October 1915, a pivotal moment occurred in World War I. Bulgaria, having formed an alliance, made a significant move. The nation formally declared war against Serbia. This declaration marked Bulgaria's official entry into the global conflict. Bulgaria joined World War I on the side of the Central Powers. Upon the declaration of war, Bulgaria initiated a rapid military mobilization. The Bulgarian army possessed significant training and combat experience. This experience was gained from its recent involvement in the Balkan Wars. The mobilization aimed to prepare the forces for immediate offensive operations. These planned operations were specifically directed against Serbia. The Bulgarian entry into the conflict marked a significant shift in the Central Powers strategy. This coincided with a renewed offensive launched against Serbia by the Central Powers. Forces from Germany and Austria-Hungary joined the attack, creating a multi-pronged assault. The combined offensive aimed to overwhelm Serbian defenses from multiple directions. Bulgarian forces initiated a rapid military advance into eastern Serbia. The primary objective was to disrupt Serbian lines of retreat. This strategic maneuver also aimed to sever Serbian communication channels. The advance was designed to isolate Serbian military units. These actions significantly contributed to the encirclement of the Serbian army. The Bulgarian offensive played a crucial role in the broader military campaign. The 1915 Serbian campaign involved a coordinated offensive by the Central Powers. This campaign took place in late 1915, targeting the Kingdom of Serbia. The combined forces of the Central Powers launched a decisive military operation. The campaign resulted in the complete military defeat of Serbia. Serbia's territory was subsequently occupied by the Central Powers. Remnants of the Serbian army were forced to undertake a difficult retreat through Albania. Bulgaria's entry into World War I held immense strategic importance for the Central Powers. Its participation was crucial for establishing a vital supply route. This route secured the railway line connecting Germany to Constantinople. The railway facilitated the efficient transfer of resources and troops. It ensured better logistical support for the Ottoman Empire. This strategic link strengthened the Central Powers' position on the Serbian front. Following a military defeat, Serbia's territory underwent significant changes. Bulgaria subsequently occupied substantial portions of these Serbian lands. The occupying forces established their own administrative structures. Bulgaria implemented its governance and policies within these newly acquired areas. This occupation led to a direct imposition of Bulgarian rule over Serbian territories. Bulgaria engaged in conflict with the primary objective of reclaiming territories in Macedonia. This territorial ambition was a key driver for Bulgaria's involvement in the war. Initial military campaigns proved successful for Bulgaria. Bulgaria achieved its immediate war aim by securing control over much of Macedonia. This acquisition represented a significant success in terms of its strategic and territorial goals. The Salonica Front was established by the Allied powers as a strategic response to evolving wartime conditions. This action followed the collapse of Serbia, a key Allied nation in the Balkan region. Bulgaria's entry into the war on the side of the Central Powers further necessitated this new front. The front was positioned at Salonica, Thessaloniki, in Greece, a neutral territory at the time. Its primary objectives were to support Serbia and to pose a direct threat to the Central Powers in the Balkans. The Salonica Front, a theater of World War I, quickly developed into a static conflict. This situation mirrored the trench warfare prevalent on the Western Front. Both opposing forces established extensive trench systems. These fortifications led to a prolonged period of military stagnation. Little tactical or strategic progress was made by either side. The front remained largely entrenched for an extended duration. From 1916 to 1917, Bulgarian forces adopted a primarily defensive stance. Their main operations were concentrated along the critical Salonica Front. This front was a key theater during World War I, involving Allied forces. Bulgarian troops were tasked with repelling various Allied offensives. Their strategic objective was to maintain existing defensive positions. This period highlighted their resilience in holding ground against enemy advances. Prolonged warfare placed immense strain on Bulgaria's national economy. The continuous conflict led to severe shortages across various sectors. Food supplies became scarce, impacting the general population significantly. Essential resources, vital for both military and civilian needs, were depleted. Manpower was diverted to the war effort, further hindering economic productivity. These economic hardships began to erode public support for the ongoing war. As the conflict prolonged, Bulgaria experienced growing internal discontent among its populace. This widespread dissatisfaction was primarily fueled by the heavy casualties suffered during the war. Economic hardship also contributed significantly to the nation's declining morale. Resources were strained, leading to shortages and financial instability across the country. A perception emerged that further significant gains from the war were unlikely or impossible. This combination of factors led to a pervasive sense of war weariness within Bulgaria. By late 1918, Allied forces on the Salonica Front were preparing for a major offensive. This upcoming military operation was designated as the Vardar Offensive. Allied strength had significantly increased due to recent reinforcements. Improved coordination among Allied units further bolstered their readiness for the assault. The Vardar Offensive began in September 1918, marking a pivotal moment in the conflict. A decisive breakthrough occurred at Dobro Pole, a key strategic location. This action shattered the Bulgarian defensive lines, leading to their collapse. The successful assault at Dobro Pole initiated a rapid disintegration of the Bulgarian front. The Bulgarian army initiated a retreat, marked by profound disorganization. This retreat was primarily driven by widespread demoralization among the troops. Soldiers were physically exhausted, further contributing to their low morale. A significant number of soldiers deserted their posts during this period. Many of these deserters chose to return to their homes, abandoning military duty. This mass desertion signified a complete and critical breakdown of military discipline. Allied forces initiated a rapid advance following the collapse of Bulgarian lines. The primary units involved in this offensive were French and Serbian troops. They exploited the disarray, pushing deep into Bulgarian territory. This swift penetration marked a significant turning point in the campaign. A severe political crisis gripped Sofia, the capital city. This crisis was directly triggered by a significant military disaster. The government in power faced intense pressure and growing public unrest. Internal instability escalated rapidly due to these compounding factors. Simultaneously, the nation confronted the imminent threat of an Allied invasion. The combination of internal strife and external threat created a critical situation. Disaffected Bulgarian soldiers initiated a significant mutiny. Many of these soldiers were peasants, highlighting widespread discontent. The mutineers formed an independent entity known as the Radomir Republic. Their forces subsequently began a march towards the capital city, Sofia. This advance directly threatened the existing Bulgarian government. The mutiny further destabilized the political situation within the country. By September 1918, Bulgaria faced overwhelming military defeat on multiple fronts. The nation was also grappling with significant internal rebellion and unrest. This dire situation signaled the imminent collapse of the Central Powers Alliance. Under immense pressure, Bulgaria initiated steps to seek an armistice. In late September 1918, Bulgaria formally sought an armistice with the Allied powers. The Armistice of Salonica was a pivotal agreement signed on the 29th of September 1918. This armistice formally marked the cessation of hostilities for Bulgaria in World War I. It effectively ended Bulgaria's participation as a central power in the conflict. Bulgaria became the first of the Central Powers to surrender during World War I. In October 1918, King Ferdinand I of Bulgaria faced immense pressure. Public anger mounted following Bulgaria's defeat in World War I. The widespread discontent led to calls for his removal from power. Under these circumstances, Ferdinand I made the decision to abdicate his throne. His son, Boris III, subsequently ascended to the throne, inheriting the crown. The Treaty of Neuilly-sur-Seine formalized peace terms for Bulgaria in November 1919. This treaty was a consequence of Bulgaria's involvement in World War I. It imposed significant territorial losses on Bulgaria, altering its borders. The treaty also included military restrictions and substantial reparations. Under the terms of the treaty, Bulgaria faced significant territorial losses. Specifically, Western Thrace was ceded to Greece. This cession resulted in Bulgaria losing its direct access to the Aegean Sea. The loss of Aegean access had profound negative implications for Bulgaria. It represented a major blow to both its economic and strategic interests. Territorial adjustments were made along the western border with Serbia. These adjustments involved the transfer of certain areas. The transferred territories were ceded to the newly formed kingdom. This new entity was known as the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. The Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes was later renamed Yugoslavia. The treaty imposed severe restrictions on the Bulgarian army. It mandated the demobilization of existing military forces. The treaty limited the army's size and operational capabilities. Future military development was also significantly constrained. Bulgaria faced significant economic challenges in the aftermath of the war. A major contributing factor was the imposition of substantial war reparations. These reparations were financial obligations to victorious nations. The burden of these payments severely crippled Bulgaria's already fragile economy. This economic strain exacerbated existing vulnerabilities within the nation. Consequently, the reparations fueled widespread post-war instability. The aftermath of defeat and harsh treaty terms plunged Bulgaria into significant political and social instability. This period was characterized by a series of coups, reflecting deep-seated internal conflicts. The nation experienced widespread unrest, undermining governmental authority and public order. These factors collectively contributed to a volatile post-war environment within Bulgaria. Bulgaria experienced profound national trauma following its involvement in World War I. This trauma was primarily driven by the loss of territories after the war. The impact of these losses significantly shaped Bulgaria's foreign policy for decades. It also had a lasting influence on the nation's domestic political landscape. Bulgaria initially achieved territorial gains during World War I. These gains were part of larger ambitions for a greater Bulgaria. However, Bulgaria's ultimate defeat in the war thwarted these aspirations. Consequently, its territorial and political objectives remained unfulfilled. Bulgaria's surrender marked a critical turning point in World War I. This event significantly weakened the Central Powers' strategic position. It initiated a domino effect, leading to further military and political instability. The surrender directly contributed to the eventual collapse of the Ottoman Empire. It also accelerated the disintegration of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This sequence of events underscored the interconnectedness of the Central Powers' fate. The Allied victory on the Salonica Front marked a significant strategic success. This victory directly led to the collapse of Bulgaria, a key Central Power. Bulgaria's withdrawal allowed for the redeployment of Allied forces from the Salonica Front. This redeployment effectively relieved pressure on other critical fronts, aiding the overall Allied war effort. Bulgaria's withdrawal from the war significantly altered the geopolitical landscape. This event directly impacted the strategic position of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire became increasingly vulnerable to Allied military actions. A critical consequence was the severance of its direct land connection to other Central Powers. This isolation hindered logistical support and coordinated defense strategies. The lack of contiguous territory with allies weakened the Ottoman Empire's overall war effort. Bulgaria's surrender had significant strategic repercussions for the Central Powers. Specifically, it led to a critical weakening of Austria-Hungary's defensive posture. The southern flank of the Austro-Hungarian Empire became increasingly exposed. This exposure created new vulnerabilities for the already strained empire. Austria-Hungary was already contending with immense pressure on multiple fronts. The loss of Bulgarian support exacerbated these existing military and logistical challenges. World War I concluded with significant geopolitical shifts across Europe. The defeat of nations like Bulgaria fundamentally altered the continental power balance. The war's outcome led to a complete reshaping of Europe's political map. Existing alliances were dissolved, and new international relations emerged. This period saw the formation of novel diplomatic and military alignments. The post-war era was characterized by a dynamic reconfiguration of European alliances. The post-war period initiated a critical reevaluation of Bulgarian national identity. Bulgaria was compelled to redefine its role within the complex geopolitical landscape of the Balkans. The nation grappled with significant losses incurred during the preceding conflicts. These losses contributed to a substantially diminished international standing for Bulgaria. The reassessment involved introspection on national values, historical narratives, and future aspirations. This period marked a pivotal moment in shaping modern Bulgarian self-perception and foreign policy. Bulgaria faced immense challenges in economic recovery following the war. Its national infrastructure suffered extensive damage, hindering reconstruction efforts. Crucially, the country's resources were severely depleted, impacting productive capacity. Heavy reparations payments further burdened the economy, impeding development and growth. The aftermath of the war triggered profound social transformations within Bulgaria. Significant demographic shifts occurred, primarily due to widespread casualties. These losses impacted the population structure and social fabric of the nation. A pervasive sense of disillusionment emerged among the populace. This disillusionment was directed towards the existing political leadership. The war thus reshaped Bulgarian society, both demographically and politically. The Treaty of Neuilly-sur-Seine was signed after World War I, imposing harsh terms on Bulgaria. Bulgaria widely perceived the treaty as unjust and punitive. This perception fueled a strong sense of revisionism within the country. Revisionism manifested as a desire to overturn the treaty's provisions. This sentiment significantly influenced Bulgarian policy during the interwar period. Bulgaria's decision to align with the Axis powers in World War II was influenced by historical grievances. These grievances stemmed significantly from the outcomes and territorial losses of World War I. The nation harbored a strong desire to regain territories lost in previous conflicts. This irredentist ambition played a crucial role in shaping its foreign policy. The Axis powers offered promises of territorial restoration, appealing to Bulgaria's national interests. Consequently, Bulgaria formally joined the Axis, seeking to achieve its territorial objectives. The memory of World War I significantly shaped Bulgaria's national identity. The war's defeat became a pivotal element in the country's historical narrative. This narrative frequently underscored themes of national sacrifice. It also emphasized a perceived sense of injustice suffered by the nation. Bulgaria's historical experience offers insights into small power alliances. It illustrates the complex calculations smaller nations face when aligning with major blocs. These alliances often occur during periods of significant global conflict. The case highlights potential pitfalls for smaller powers in such geopolitical alignments. Bulgaria's decision to enter World War I was primarily driven by territorial ambitions. This strategic choice aimed to expand national borders and influence. However, the endeavor proved to be exceptionally costly for the nation. It resulted in significant national suffering and widespread devastation. The aftermath led to a prolonged period of recovery and political instability.